Okay, I think slide again, Gary.
Okay. No action taken as a result of the executive session,
But we do have announcements.
but Sheriff Vernon has a couple announcements.
I have, as to letting the dispatcher, the commissioners know that Ashley Griffith has resigned from the sheriff's office as a relief dispatcher, and Heather Robinson has resigned from the sheriff's office as a full-time dispatcher. And there's your two sheets for your file, and I will get you a copy of the written resignations.
Just a letter?
Yeah, and a letter, in an envelope to put into their file.
Very good.
So I didn't, you can get that done.
That's right.
New apps
New apps.
or?
We have 4 apps right now as of this morning before I came over here that we're doing backgrounds on and looking at. Obviously, we have 2 open positions, 2 full-time positions available in the dispatch that we're taking apps for, and we'll take them till they're full, till they're filled. And obviously, if someone's interested, we always have, or most normally have room for relief if somebody's interested in
Yeah.
that. You know, maybe sometimes they start as reliefs and then move on up full time when we have openings. So good way to get trained and in there first and see if you like it, as opposed to jumping into a full-time position. Seems like, as with everybody, it seems like that's all we're dealing with now. I mean, it's hiring in one form or another.
I've always or everywhere.
Yeah. No, we're not, I don't take it personally. It's not like they just hate the sheriff's office and they're leaving. It's happening everywhere, you know, but shift work it's not for everybody. I mean, you know, you're used to being home every night for supper, and now all of a sudden you're gonna go to a job that, you know, supper comes at whatever time you get supper, you know, it's different for people, so. Anyway, I don't think I have too much yet. Like I said, I'm still digging through the pile on my desk. If I have anything else, I'll come back over and see you guys later if you got anything for me.
Okay.
Should be in the office.
With that, you'll make A.
And I'll, like I said, I'll touch bases with them and make sure, I'll just probably take
Is
another,
that the ag partners? Yeah.
I'll take another tax exempt sheet out to them and say, oh, by the
I'll
way,
leave that.
it's just easier than,
Yeah. Yeah,
but I'm
that's.
pretty sure that's what.
You
stand back.
Well,
I don't know if I did.
I didn't, thank you. Yeah, well, somebody's on it, they'll get taken care of.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. If you guys need
Okay.
something, let me know.
Okay, Sheriff, be careful.
Always. You guys have a good day.
You too.
So when I was over in my office, I was looking through my community health services folder, found a couple things. I think I would have got this from Jane sometime. Kind of talks about, you know, who is the local board of health and what are their duties and what are the qualifications of a health officer. And then it looks like at one time, when Jane was gonna be gone, we appointed someone to be the health officer in her absence. And there's
Absence
three
of
to 7
7 accepted.
Anyway, that's what I found.
Oh, remember that?
One, three.
No, I don't. Cameron off.
14 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Qualifications, county the population of 100,000. Hi, Janelle.
Hi there,
How are you?
not too bad.
Great.
I have a twofold thing.
Okay.
First of all, you guys wanted me to do that report by the end of August for the American Rescue Plan.
Eric's gone. I don't think he was here.
Yeah, I
There's a report.
mentioned, but yeah.
Is there
Well-
a report out there yet?
Well, there is, but I had to get Mary Kay to work with me because she's the only one that has access to that account.
For the portal.
So on Friday, we tried to work with it, and then she determined that,
And I think what the problem is on Monday, last Monday, I got an email from the Treasury saying that we recipient must designate individuals to serve as its official points of contact. And as a recipient, you will need to designate someone for each of the following three roles: an account administrator, a point of contact for reporting, and an authorized representative for reporting. So I think that our problem is when we kept trying to submit our report, it was saying that
With Aaron,
we
didn't
weren't
have authority.
authorized, yeah. And I think it's because this isn't done. So, my plan was to ask you today, you know, who you wanted me to appoint to each of those typed positions.
It'll be the same person on all three of them.
I don't know. And then we did get, an email just Friday from Swindle, Jansen, Hawk, and Lloyd, kind of about this interim report that we're working on. So I'll share that with you. It doesn't mention having to make these appointments, but I'm sure that's probably what we need to do, because that's what it looked like, the error we were getting.
We didn't have authority.
Right. Can it be changed though? I mean, for now, if we designate
Alright.
Janelle, and then if we do decide to go with,
Unless it has to be Mary Kay, because she's got the authority to get into the account.
Right now, I'm the only one that has that's been ID verified to get into the portal.
okay,
See, when you sign in, it sends it for a
Sends me a
message,
text.
text or.
But I have to put that code in, and, you know, we could have somebody else, we could have Janelle get ID verified, but it is a little bit of a process.
well, it doesn't matter, whatever you guys think.
But I think we can work together too to get it done too.
But I think she's already got the account, and she had a lot of steps to take to
Yeah.
get that account, so I think. we
One
just
of
need
them
to keep it-
including, you had to be on a webinar, a Zoom, where they could see you, and you had to have all your documents uploaded, yeah. It
Maybe
was
you
fun.
just to send us money back.
I'm not ready to. Anyway,
So, well, go ahead, Janelle.
Well, I mean, we need to figure out who we're gonna give the
Yes.
authority to, and then I think after she gets that done, we can maybe get in and get that report done.
and I wanted to share that with Janelle too, Gary, after you're done looking at it, but basically just says that we have to manually input, which we knew, and it just sounds like it'll be a
Well, I think-
$0
I think we had it
yeah.
all there, but we just couldn't give us
submit
the
it.
authority. It looked like it was all right. I mean, it had the county's name, it had you as chairman, and everything looked right. It's just that it wouldn't take to submit.
So, this engagement letter with Swindle, is that right? Or that's Jason. That, you expect to get another $1 million?
Well, they said after the
We
first
kind
year.
of do.
'Cause
So,
we thought our total was gonna be about 1.9 million, and we've only got
Nine.
half of that, 900-some thousand.
But you got it in an interest-bearing account right now, don't you?
Mhm.
With whatever interest.
Well, we had $43 about it. Would we change that about the 10th or 20th of July?
So that wasn't full month, I don't think.
No.
Better than nothing. We got what, 2 years to 24 is the year.
right,
You gotta
that's
do something
right.
with it by 24.
Well,
These guys wanted.
and is that the total?
But there is a lot there that they do behind the scenes. I mean, I'm not saying maybe that's a lot of money, but
Right.
it would take a full-time person here to figure that
Yeah,
all
I
out.
mean, we might be able to do the reporting, but as far as knowing what the money can be spent on and how we're gonna get this
Yeah, I
accomplished,
understand that.
that's.
I just thought you guys could do the reporting here first until we decide which way we're gonna go, if we're gonna hire these guys.
And even if you do, somebody at the county will still probably have to do the reporting.
Right.
But they will assist us
Okay.
with that, you know, like, here's what you need to submit. You know what I mean, just go ahead and do it. you know.
Yeah, 'cause Mary Kay and I, it took us a long time to find the report.
Yeah. First
Right,
time we were looking, it wasn't there.
but most of the heavy lifting, if you will, would be done.
Yeah, they're gonna know what can and can't be done.
Right,
Yeah, it's been on.
well,
I
I,
think the rules change every
I know,
day.
but at least it isn't on my back.
if we've got $2 million on the line here, which it sounds like we do, to have somebody babysit it, $100,000, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
Well, like, when we had the Sparks money, they did that. I think I'd have gone crazy because they were sending in a little bit here and this, and, you had to know that was a spendable charge, and she put that all on a spreadsheet and had it, all I had to do is write the check. It was easier, but it'd take a full-time person to figure that all out, because they almost have to have legal knowledge to know whether it's to keep you out of the clear.
I don't have a problem designating Mary Kay as of right now, but
As all three of those, or
however you wanna do it,
we
whatever.
gotta
you
do an account administrator, a point of contact, and then an authorized representative for reporting. And the only thing is, I thought about maybe appointing you, Gary, as the chairman for that authorized representative, but that may mean that you have to do something every time we have to report. That I sign or, do something electronically. That's the only thing that bothers me, because that might be a hassle. I don't know, if you're out of town or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever you guys think on that. Otherwise, we could make Janelle one of those at least.
But will I have to have an account? I'm gonna have to be verified.
It's true.
I mean, I can, but
That's true. It doesn't say that.
I guess it hurt if you have a second contact though in the county in case you were gone or something.
This is something that I suspect an individual like Carlotta is gonna know.
Yeah.
She's gonna say, yeah, I can make that, be Mary Kay on all three.
Yeah, so maybe,
Yeah,
that's who I need to ask, yeah.
yeah. I guess I'd like to know, let's see that here. I'd like to find out how much it's gonna cost to, if we get, let's see that.
I thought it was 5%.
Well, there's
The cost
initial,
of
that's
the
just
reward.
what I saw.
I think we're supposed to get that other money after the first year,
No,
the way I understand it.
Well, that's setting that account though for 6 months to a year before we decide what we're gonna do with it.
Yeah, I
Like you guys can record it until
Yeah.
next week. We talked about getting somebody local too, Gary, local county.
yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna reach up front of you for a second. Thank you. One thing that,
So initial retainer of 10% of the fixed fee will be collected upon signing an agreement to cover administrative costs of the program setup, which this is probably part of the program setup, would you not say?
I'd say,
Yeah. Bill quarterly of the total recovery funds expended to date.
guess that's just under cities. I was seeing where a project and expenditure report is due October 31st. She's just got that under cities and not under the county. County, she just has, get approval from the commissioners prior to submission of this August 31st report. Log into the treasury portal, manual inputs are required, and then plan on filing on the 30th or the 31st. And, yeah, I'm just not sure, like, future reports, if it'll be as simple as this interim, you know what I mean, or if it'll be where they want more information on what are you actually thinking that you're gonna use this money on? Or if we can just say, We don't know yet. I don't know.
This that you guys are talking about is due the 31st of August, is that not correct?
And I think we can do it as long as we get access,
Right,
because it didn't look be too hard after we found it.
Right.
but wasn't it just a couple short weeks ago when you guys explored this possibility and there was no rules there?
There was no report out.
There's
No report out
And then she
there.
got an email that said it was out there.
But then we still have to figure out, okay, well, how do we get it?
Yeah. We
Well,
struggled, but
But we
got it.
found it.
This is a
And we had it
moving,
all in there, and when we had submitted,
Yeah.
refused it.
this is a moving target, just like the spark money was. A constant moving target. Guess we already know this. I guess the only thing we could do is contact some of the local guys.
You want me to check with other counties and see who they're have doing it?
Well, could,
I talked to the Brown County Commissioner, and they said there was a CPA in town there that was dealt with a lot of government stuff in the past that just kind of moved to town and got started or something. They thought they was gonna use her, so.
I think some Marshall County had a work person who done it,
Oh, really? Yeah.
but I'm not positive on that. I know they did for their supplies.
well, it might be,
I figured if everybody else spent their money, by the time we got around to spending ours, we know we could do, we done been in trouble.
see that. Ken Keycaper, this is Wise in Marshall County. Does he have an office here? Doesn't
I think so.
But I don't know, I'd have to check. I might have that wrong, or might be something else that I remember, but it seems like they had somebody different than what we, anyway.
Well, it might not hurt to check with some others. Trying to think who there might be in
I can check with Walker County maybe after I leave here. Before back you get today.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I think I'll ask Carlotta for sure who she thinks maybe we should appoint to these, me on all of them, or me and Janelle, and then we'll do that, and then I think we should be able to get that report taken care of.
Well, let me put one on the back of that, on the back of this. Or can we not report it until the 30th?
I know, I don't know. I'll ask her that too, when I come here.
Until that day, you're saying, yeah.
And I
You
wonder if
can't
that
do
could
it
be
the
part of the
25th.
problem why it didn't take it either.
Yeah, I know it was Spark anyway, we always submitted it, just right, sometime right before the deadline. But that's just how it was, I mean, I usually didn't get the file from them to upload it to them.
So, we had Carlotta do the Spark, and Dennis Henry
Yeah,
he did
he
quite
did
a
a lot
bit
of
with
that.
that too. How about your involvement with that? Did you
My involvement was mainly, administration.
So,
I wasn't involved in how the money was gonna be spent, or I didn't listen to any of the webinars on that. That was all Dennis and Carlotta.
right, your involvement was, would you say minimal?
Yes. And I liked it like that.
Most of mine-
Well, I know you
most of
do.
Mine was just writing the checks.
So your involvement was also, well, that's your job, you're the treasurer, so you're gonna be involved in that, yeah.
But it was quite a few checks.
We had a lot of checks.
Well, yeah, it would have been, I guess, or it would have been.
And, some of it I had to go back and say, what are you doing here? Because it wasn't real cut and dry, but it wasn't. Or, if the school district called me and said, what was that check you wrote me? There was a lot of that carried on when the school districts were getting their budgets ready. Hey, we got this Sparks money, how much did we get? And I could go back and look. Their auditors were following me and saying that.
I don't know what federal program it is, but they're talking nationwide, there's several $billion laying in there that have been sent out. I think only 5% of it is available for, I guess I don't want to get into that. Well, and I guess I'd like to know from, and I give this Scott a call, according to this, if we get 1.9, is that what the projected thing is?
Oh, that's
What you
what it
guys
is.
said?
We only have 939, I think it is right now, but we're supposed to get the rest, but we're happy with our students, my understanding.
I guess I'd just like to know, to put Carlotta on this. Now, it's kind of
Somebody
neat.
local can do it.
Right,
Cause like,
and,
you know, we've had requests, well, I've had requests from both of the water districts. And they tell me what-
I know I talked to one recently again too, wanted to know if any decisions have been made on how you were gonna spend that money.
yeah.
If they would be notified, if they had to apply, for it or
So what
whatever.
can you spend it, I mean, what is it supposed to be?
Oh, there's a list. You still have that, Mary Kay?
I don't have it with me.
Okay, that
Maybe
was,
somewhere of it.
it's like, some of it's infrastructure, like, getting, the one county over there is gonna use it all for broadband.
Right,
I think if these guys want to put in a new water line or something, a lot of
Yeah,
that.
some was
qualified.
about water.
Some of it
water,
was-
water.
A little bit of it was work related to COVID, wasn't it? I think there was a small part of it. I mean, that's why I said, the rules change every day. so-
and that's another moving target.
Yeah.
It probably will keep changing.
And, yeah. But I guess we have this, I suspect most of our local, I don't know, they might say, I don't think you do, because it's gonna take, it's gonna take a lot of man hours to, but I guess if you could check, see if
I'll just
there's,
check and see like what counties around us are doing.
yeah, and the we already have a bid from one, so if somebody's interested in having,
Some of the quote.
yes, yes. And we could say at least, we contacted some local folks and nobody wanted to play the game.
Okay, I'll do that after you do.
Okay.
My second thing is, in the New York, it says that every 5 years we switch our banking account. We rotated. Well, January will be 5 years. So the next bank, we just stay in Seneca because with deposits and everything, you can't be traveling out of town.
Mhm.
But, I talked, the next bank to go would be First Heritage. And I talked to them this morning and they are wanting to have our account.
Are they? Okay.
And so if it's okay, if you guys will probably move to First Heritage the first year.
Seems like last time we were at this rodeo, everybody else just said, because we're now Community National, is that correct?
And we
And
left,
everybody else just said,
we left United and went to Community. So now it would be going back to First Heritage.
And we have it on a 5-year,
Mhm.
so our last rotation went from 17 to
21.
21.
And it takes a lot to move it because there's so many electronic deposits, ACHs, there's, like payroll, all that has to be redone. I mean, it has to be moved over to the other bank. So, it's not easy, and it used to be a 3-year rotation, and they went to 5 years because of that. Just 3 years was too soon. to
Just
do.
come and went, just like that.
Right. You were dealing with it all the time,
Yeah.
it felt like, yeah.
So we went to a 5-year rotation and I checked with First Heritage and they do want our account. So,
And they know what's involved, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
and he told me that their IT and everybody would be willing to work with us to make it as smooth of a transfer as we could. So hopefully it'll just go pretty easily, but like payroll and all their capers, all that's ACH, so that's gonna have to be re-upped, to their bank forms.
And her agreement, part of signing agreement.
And like when I do tax distributions to school districts and the state get their money ACH. So they're gonna have to all sign again and on their forms. We have to get that all set up in the computer and then we have to run a test to make sure that it's gonna work right. So it takes a little bit of work. For me, I have to have that done by the school districts and stuff by the 20th of January because that's when your distribution money goes out. So first one here will be.
Sandy will have to have it ready to pay vendors on the middle of the month. And we'll do payroll in January.
With the vendors with the checks.
Right.
We got blank check stuff, don't we?
Yes.
So the checks aren't a problem, we just have blank and it automatically prints them, or we just have to get it all set.
In the computer as well.
So the first of the year, a little bit more challenging.
Yes.
But based on that information, we have a check resolution now for outstanding checks. And I would kind of like to see it changed. We now have it on the checks that they are void after 180 days, but that doesn't, if it goes to the bank and goes through, they'll pay it after the 180 days. But we do have it stamped on the checks. And when we did this check resolution, I'm okay with everything except it says remains outstanding for a period of 2 years. It's a little too long. I'd like that changed to like 1 year. Because like when we change banks, and if we have an outstanding check, I can't do anything with that for 2 years from the date. So sometimes you're almost 2 years out before you can actually close that account. So
Do you need 180 days, or why is it 90 days? Most of them are 30 days anymore.
Yeah,
um,
that's what I'm wondering
well, the
too.
state's is a year. The state checks are a year. So we just went with 180 for 6 months. I don't mind the 160, but I'd like this change to, that we can do something with it after a year. The state is at a year, I just had an issue with one of the state checks. It's at a year, but they don't do anything for 60 days after that. So like, I had a check that was for Homestead, and it was dated July 9th, and the guy came in on July 9th. And I called down there, and she said, well, you won't do anything until September on it. So I could send it on through. But this is the resolution, and I'll look at it.
Can I keep that and I'll talk to Brad about that? Because he'll probably make that change.
This was
I think he drafted that resolution.
17, yeah.
Okay, I don't even know what it is.
It explains how we do it. Anything under $25 goes back into the account, and $25 and over goes to the state as unassigned property.
Thank you.
Holding on to outstanding checks for 2 years.
No, and I guess I'm surprised, is 1 year too long?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
But 1 year's doable. I mean,
Kind of 6 months would be a lot better. You put 90 days on your check, and give them 6 months, I think that's long.
So what happens if that check,
I'm just telling you, there's a couple of taxing districts that hold on to checks for 6 months or better. So.
is that right?
Yeah, I kind of like the year.
Okay. Well,
We don't have a huge lot of outstanding checks, but a year is plenty long enough, and if we can get rid of them after a year, that's,
yeah, well, that's up to you.
you just keep that, and ask Brad.
Oh,
Can I
okay.
see it for
You want us
just
to
a minute?
talk to Brad, or you want to talk to Brad? and set it
You
up?
guys will have to make the resolution.
Well, he can draw it up for us, so however you want. to
Yeah,
draw
oh,
it up.
sure. If that's the only change you think.
Yeah, don't you think, Mary Kay?
We'll go from
Yeah, but
2
what
to
you
1.
call it?
Outstanding check resolution is
Okay.
what I call it.
So what happens now as an example, we're still with Community National, switch over to Heritage after the first year, that check's written on Community National, now we're out here with Heritage.
We just keep that account open until we know everything's closed up. And honestly, I'm going to talk to community about seeing if they will keep us. Presently, we have all the checks and everything come out of community, but we actually have an account at First Heritage where we keep kind of the excess instead of putting it into CDs. You know, I mean, we do have some CDs, but we have a little excess sitting there so that we don't have to be messing with CDs. We have CDs at Byrne and at Elk State. And we just, you know, like, if my securities are getting maxed out at community, I move some money over to First Heritage where their securities all protected. And then when I need it for tax distribution or something, I just go get a cashier's check and transfer it over to community. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm gonna ask community if they, and First Heritage pays us a little bit better interest on that account than a checking account. You know, they give us a little bit of a break on the interest, instead of always having to cash in CDs and it's worked well, you know, when you need road and bridge site that can spend 500,000, you can go get that money out and bring it over.
Yeah.
It's the security, you know, otherwise you're constantly moving securities.
So any given CD that you have out there, that's why you bank, you're not moving all those over Heritage. You just,
They stay with
you
us.
go, well, you go shopping, don't you?
Yeah, no,
You don't?
no, I don't like to be over here in the jail. But the CDs, they stay in Byrne, has some, and Elk State has some, and I've never had to cash them in to get the interest off of them. But the CDs just stay there, and they give us a little bit better interest rate probably than a checking.
But nonetheless, though, my question is, if one of these CDs comes due, 1st of September, you're gonna call around to the different banks and saying, what do you offer?
Yeah, I check out the interest rate.
Yeah,
But
okay.
usually they give
Not,
us.
not shopping. You're shopping around for the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, that's what
Gary
it is.
was
Right, that's what you're shopping for the best interest rate.
Okay, that sounds better.
Yeah, okay, I apologize, I had you lost.
Oh, no, I didn't want to put out there that I was out shopping on the county money.
No. Oh, well, yeah, sorry about that. Starts an even bigger fire.
Yeah, I check interest rates all the time.
Yeah,
And like I said, that excess money that we have in the account, I'll call it a checking account, but it really, it isn't. The only time a check or anything comes out of there is when I have to transfer money and they do a cashier's check. We physically don't write a check here. If they write a cashier's check and we take it down to community and deposit it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of, and see if community will pay us a little higher interest rate on the account. And we'll keep excess over there so that when we need it, we can just move it without having to cash in the CD. It just depends, like if it's tax time, you know, if we've got
Right.
taxes and it's a lot,
Yeah.
but then when we make the distributions, it goes down.
Right. Just draw.
And there
that.
again, I might keep a little bit more in that checking account there because they're paying a little bit higher interest than the actual checking
Mhm.
account. I play
Well-
with the interest issue, but
Right, I heard you say that before. Well, just so First Heritage has become completely clean with them about what all this takes.
yeah, he knows, he said,
Yeah,
I don't have, we'll work with you, we want your account. He said,
Yeah.
You've been a good account to have.
yeah, okay,
But
okay.
that's kind of how you know, United has they have the Sparks money, and then they also have the American Rescue money, so it kind of have it.
I don't know, Michael.
Yeah, they are microloan. So
You-
money's kind of distributed through all the banks that way.
But you like that, to have that spark money laying over here. Is that not correct?
Yeah, because that way you don't get into spending money out of the wrong account.
Right, yeah, understand that. And that's, the rescue money is, you would like that there also, keep that there and
Mhm.
United, okay.
That way the banks all have something.
Hmm,
And the Byrne has CDs, and Elk State has CDs, and and try to have a little open account. United has the American Rescue and the microloan. And we have our checking and community, so we kind of keep it distributed evenly.
Well, we'll take care of that resolution. Do you have that,
Yeah,
Mary Kay?
I'll bring that up when Brad comes in, if that's okay.
So you're okay with going to the first area?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll make that move the first of the year.
Okay.
If we can get that resolution made to a year, that will sure help things.
Did you ride a motorcycle in Sturgeon back? Kind of a little bit pink.
No, I mowed my lawn.
You mowed your yard?
We went over to another farm and I forgot to grab the sunscreen. I wasn't going back for it.
Yeah, getting the mowing done. Okay, Janelle,
All right.
thanks
Yep,
for,
thank you. We'll try to get that report made and I guess.
yeah,
I'll
well,
check with the other bank.
if
other
you
counties.
talk with, see if we can find somebody local, that'd be great. But
Okay, I'll check
if
with them.
you talk to them, tell them we've got a quote from one already.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Janelle.
And I'm gonna write down that one of our changes for a reorg for next year is to change the bank.
Yeah. So Troy's on here. I haven't seen him out there.
It's not gonna be Troy, it's gonna be Miss Margie.
Oh, hi, Marge. Come on in.
Sure, she's waiting.
Yeah.
My chair.
that-
No, I'm not. You want me to do it? Okay, so that is, what, Mark? For Scott's ceiling.
So that's,
That is, okay, and he said that's how it is right now, but of course, if we wait much longer, it
that's
may
an
change.
updated quote.
And so on the very bottom, it says an additional $600 to $700 if he were to finish the ceiling. Meaning texture it and stuff, and put another coat or two of mud on it. Scott is going to be gone the last week of September. Basically, it's the last 2 weeks of September, going in October. And so he, Mark, can do that in that time frame while he's gone. Other people have been approached and called, but no one else has been interested because it's too small of a job. And so they don't want, or not interested. So, but if he needs to, but if you want to do that, we need to let Mark know so he can schedule it.
Right.
Because he does have a lot of jobs coming up.
Yeah, we talked to Scott that one day, he didn't act like it really bothered him.
It doesn't bother him, but at the same time, with what Mark's time frame would be, I mean, because Scott will literally have to get into a different room and work, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. I'm just telling you what these guys have said. And then, so while Scott is gone, he can go in there during that time frame, and he does have time to do it at that time. So,
Are there any other ceiling tile falling off anywhere?
oh yeah,
Where?
in Scott's room?
No, other than his
Other
room,
than in his room.
his office,
Oh,
yeah.
sure, well, haven't really looked into any other ones, but yeah, there, For sure is.
Well, I couldn't remember. Back in the judge's chambers and
Yeah,
stuff,
the
there
jury.
there was some
yes.
jury room, yeah. So this, what's he gonna do here?
Well, so he's gonna tear off those old tiles. He's going to scrape off only the glue that he needs to put strips of wood down. This way, he doesn't have to do all of that, tearing all of that glue and sanding that all off. He's just gonna take out those strips, put the strips up, and then start putting sheet rock up. is what my understanding is.
Right, and yeah,
Do what?
Probably could have put suspended ceiling up, they did the windows and all that.
I'm
Look kind of tacky, wouldn't it?
not gonna say that, I don't think that would not be a possibility. You would have to change the light fixtures probably, but those will have to come down
You're
anyways.
gonna take them down.
Right.
You know, hang sheet rock up there by the porch.
I've done that before. I'm not licensed.
Need a
Well-
license to hang sheet rock.
Huh?
Need a license to hang sheet rock.
I don't know. I don't think I'll get into that.
those things, these probably too,
Oh my
those are
gosh.
glued to the concrete, aren't they?
Yes, they are. There's about 2 big, huge blotches of glue per tile. And
Can we just glue this
they
back
need to
up
be
there?
sanded down. What?
Can we just glue it back up there?
No. They're
Why
old.
not? Well, what if you put all new ones on there?
New ceiling tile?
I don't think he's done that, but I think he has re-glued the ones that have come off before. And
So
they
you would
still
rather
come
just
off.
fix up and put the same kind of thing up, is what you're saying?
I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. I guess what we have to decide is that ultimately what we'll end up doing in this whole courthouse.
Right.
If they start falling off
Personally,
above
I
my
don't think
head,
it'd be a bad idea, but that's just from my
Yeah.
perspective.
well, and.
Because these are only, what,
Probably better fix the brick on the
1955
outside of the
models?
building before we start.
And they're in absolutely every single, I mean, they're through the whole place. Except for the
Well-
The
hallways.
hallways are
The
different.
hallways are not.
What are they?
They're tile too, but they're different.
But they're probably held up there with glue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In particular.
I
No,
guess,
don't get it started.
Leave it alone.
well, there's a lot of sheet rock on a lot of ceilings.
Yeah.
And that, they he probably just put one, twos up there. but-
Yeah, I think he's got that on that list. It's not a 1x2, it's a,
1 by 16.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a 1 before, so, yeah. I guess that's what we need to ask ourselves, is that, if we start that there, is that the plan to
well, if you
ultimately?
just at least get that one done, because there's so many of them falling down, at least get his room done and go from there, personally.
Well,
But we have discussed this for a while, and it's probably not gonna stay the same price, if we don't make a decision.
Because what happened is this guy quoted it earlier, and we finally just took it off the
yeah,
agenda because we thought that the quote was probably no good. But now he's been to talk with us since then, and he's submitted a updated quote.
Yeah, he was just here last week and talked to us about that. So,
What do you think? We're gonna have to go through the whole courthouse, getting a bid just to do the empty ceiling in here, or what?
no, not necessarily, no.
yeah, because really needs are all fine right now.
Right, and it's not gonna, somebody's not gonna come in the courthouse and go, whoa, look at that, they're
Yeah.
sheetrocking in his office, there's nobody's else in the, that's not gonna happen.
No,
And I do know Troy has tried to get other quotes from
right,
other people.
and nobody has
Nobody has
returned, or if
returned.
they have returned, they're not interested.
To be decided, painted or texture, and I would say texture is a no-brainer
Yep,
with you guys.
definitely.
I mean,
And I can help get a lot of things done. Like I told them, that, I can cover things up with plastic and all that stuff during my work hours.
Save him some time.
Exactly.
I guess if that saves us some money.
Yeah, that's right, I know.
Oh, how much difference there is between sheet rock and putting suspended ceiling in there?
price wise,
Well, it'll be sheetrock. It'll still be sheetrock. You're talking tiles instead. that what you're saying?
Suspended ceiling.
A suspended ceiling?
And the false ceiling.
Right.
That's what they did in the courtroom itself. But that was done when we made a lot of other adjustments to the
Well,
courtroom.
yeah,
like New windows.
New windows, yeah, we shortened them up so we
So
could do that.
do you want him to give you a quote on what it would be for a suspended ceiling as well? Versus that?
Good.
Is Scott here today?
Scott is here.
I got a quote on it.
No.
Let's go on top.
Yeah. Field trip, oh boy.
Okay.
Field trip.
Do I need this? You don't do anything.
They heard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
You can always come at different time.
Let me see that.
No?
Oh,
Wow.
I'm glad you did.
Scott mentioned half, surely, I don't know.
What's
He's
that?
got a 1/4 inch sheetrock here.
1/4 inch?
I didn't know they make one. They
I
make
didn't know they did either.
make 3/8.
They do make 3/8.
I mean, most people don't carry them.
Is it gonna sag on a guy?
Do you want me to call and confirm some of that stuff? Cause I can call him back and find out. Cause I called him prior to coming in here just to double check stuff.
So this isn't the original, the one that laid here forever, is it? This quote.
That,
It's from the same company,
the same
but
guy.
I think he's updated.
It's an updated one, yeah, okay.
Because I threw away the other one. After a while, took it off the agenda and threw it away because I thought it was no good anymore.
What color would you have that, paint that thing?
The what?
The ceiling,
Probably just like ceiling white or off-white.
right, you wouldn't wanna
No,
get
no
too crazy
colors.
with
No.
that. You paint the
No.
walls, anything,
Probably about the same,
man. Right,
about the same colors here, just not white. There might even be some paint already here, wouldn't even have to buy it. Because there might still be some here.
You're putting on one coat of mud, and then that's another $600-700.
Yeah, so that would probably be another additional coat and sanding, and then he would put the texture on.
If you texture it, one coat might be enough.
Texturing, I would think so. So once you texture it.
Be different on a sidewalk. You know, if you're-
Right,
how many people do
right. Well, all I know about the ceiling is you've gotta have. If you don't texture, a couple kids that did all their ceiling, they were texturing. And they're still pretty good, but I'm curious to see what, in 50 years, what they,
mm-hmm.
crack or two in their paint. Yeah,
Just as long as it's not that popcorn stuff.
If the bathroom's painted though, maybe you just must rip all that off and just paint it.
Oh, you mean just paint the ceiling? What about sound? Sometimes that
Well, that's what
echoing
we
from
was
the
asking.
concrete.
right,
He was talking to
Jason
Scott
mentioned
about
that, yeah.
No bigger than rooms are with the walls. In case you could pull those tiles off and you know pretty quick how loud it was.
Yeah, that's true, they got them off anyhow. You can't go wrong with sheetrock.
But how much is that gonna change his bid if you make that happen at sheetrock? He's gotta figure out how to go down it, because it's just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
I could take all the tile down.
And,
You guys can see how much noise there is, or Scott can see how
Oh.
much noise there is.
See if he likes it, and if you don't, they were
Then
pretty
you
well
need-
devoted.
Huh?
They were pretty well devoted.
Well, so it's probably gonna have to be done eventually.
but that along there is gonna be that needs to be addressed.
Thanks, Mandy.
Yep, it's from the golf course.
That's all I don't care.
But I could take the tile down. If you would like me to. That would not be a hard thing to do.
Yeah, but it's a mess.
I do know, I've had,
I would try it. You get up there with, You know what I mean? You start knocking that off and you need to go straight into whatever else you're gonna do.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying I could help by taking the title off Oregon.
Right, I know
That's all
that,
I'm
but
saying.
yeah,
That would
and that, maybe that might work, but, where is he from?
He lives in Waterville. It's Ray's uncle. But he does all this kind of smaller jobs like this. He's got a few houses he's gotta do stuff in and things like that. That's what that is.
Any references?
That I can't tell you.
Who is those other people that Diane had? Not Diane. Susan.
Susan, I'm all.
Within CTC, she had,
Oh,
but they were gonna do that remodel on out there.
Oh, yeah, she kept saying the name of that.
Which remodel we're at?
At the training center, at the day center. It was like
His initials, wasn't it?
holiday or, yeah, there's that, but I don't remember what she was calling. I didn't know if it was something from over at Svelta that I wasn't familiar with.
Guess you can ask this guy about putting half-inch sheetrock up. I'd feel better with it than a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
See what his
Wanna go down
reasoning
and
is, see what his reasoning is, if it's because you can't get it to look nice around the window, or
yeah, what can a guy do there?
So you want to go down and call him real quick? I'll
Yeah.
talk to him about it, see about the half inch.
I see that.
Is there any other thing that you want to discuss before I call him?
if,
Are you wanting him to give an idea of a suspended ceiling?
no. I think
Okay, so that's out.
I don't think it'll look nice. Unless there's a way you just put like half-inch or 3/4 inch, or not 3/4, just sheetrock right to the concrete, but I don't think you'd ever get it to stay. But I don't do this for a living, so I don't know. My guess is we're gonna
There's
have.
not too many times you see a concrete ceiling, so not a lot of people probably would know what to do with that. Because I've never worked with a concrete ceiling before.
I bet somewhere out there, there's people that do it in their basements instead of insulating it, they probably just like sheetrock it up just to make it,
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, they had real.
so you just want a bigger sheetrock, thicker sheetrock,
See if you had a reason for not putting half-inch sheetrock.
okay? And that's the only other difference stuff, right? That's the only other thing.
And see, make sure he's got a plan for along that lip there, along the windows.
That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take it out, Any idea?
Sure.
Need a
Yeah.
motion?
Actually, 12:30, you expect Diane?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Need a motion?
Oh,
Doesn't matter, I just say it too.
yeah,
Yeah, just say it.
It says
30 minutes break for lunch.
30 minutes until 12:30 for lunch. Taking a 30-minute recess for lunch until 12:30 PM.
I'm back at the end.